absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say-it-to-my-face listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text RADIO to 64,000. That's RADIO to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000.
Black Friday is happening now at the Home Depot, which means it's time to get your home ready for all your holiday moments and traditions.
Hi.
Hey. Right now, you can bring home holiday magic with our wide assortment of dazzling pre-lit trees under $99. Spend more time creating memories and less time assembling with Quick Connect technology that makes it easy to set up your new tree in a few clicks.
Wow.
Hurry in for Black Friday happening now at the Home Depot.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. Payton and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
There's a full slate of NFL action coming your way this Sunday, and Sports Radio 810 WHB has you covered. First up at 9 a.m., it's the Falcons and Colts live from Berlin. Then at noon, Drake May and the Patriots take on Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. At 3, it's an NFC West showdown when the Rams meet the 49ers. And at 7:20, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. It's all Sunday on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Since 1886, it's been the two words we live by and the chant we live to cheer. Be here all season as the Jayhawks hit the turf.
Touchdown, Kansas!
Join us this Saturday as the Jayhawks head to Tucson for a desert showdown with Arizona. Our coverage begins at 1 on your home for Kansas Jayhawk football.
The Jayhawks play here. Sports Radio 810 WHB. KCFX HD4 Harrisonville, K279PI Kansas City, 103.7 FM. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the number one motorsports show for over 2 decades, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod-In Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Track Talk with the Racing Boys. I'm Kirk Elliott. Scott Traylor is not with us this morning. He may join us a little bit later on in the show. We'll see what happens, but taking the day off. Todd Surprise is here, and we're glad that you're along today as we wind down the 2025 season. NASCAR is over. Can you believe that?
It's
a season that has gone on since February is finally over.
They can all take a breath. Even the banquet's over, Kirk.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. Normally the race banquet is after Thanksgiving, like the first week after Thanksgiving, but this year they decided to hold it 2 days after the final checkered flag down in Arizona near the racetrack. And Kyle Larson was happy about that because he's got a lot of racing going on. He's thinking, let's get the celebration over and so I can get on with my other racing, which he put on hold since the Knoxville Nationals. But he's a champion now. Surprise.
He's got a off season to be smiling, and like you said, there's really no off season for Kyle Larson. He's still racing, and I don't know if
I think he's going to race a midget now.
So, like you said, and heck, there's New Zealand and Australia to race in. So who knows? I mean, it never stops, Kirk. And then
never stops for Kyle Larson.
Then you look up and it's time for the Chili Bowl. So.
Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin's left to stew and wonder what happened.
Oh man. It's still, when you go back and watch that video, it's heartbreaking.
He had it won.
And you tie it all in with all the stuff he's going through with his dad. That's just.
Well, that's what makes it heartbreaking for a lot of people, because his dad is terminally ill.
Yeah.
And
he's the reason
Denny
why
Hamlin had said, this will be the last time he gets to see me ever win a championship. Here's a guy that's won 60 NASCAR races. He's come close to winning a championship a few times, and it looked like this was going to be the one. 2 laps to go, and a yellow flag comes out, and it happens to be caused by one of his rivals for the title. William Byron had a tire go down, hit the wall, and then all heck breaks loose because strategy came into play, and Chris Gale, Denny Hamlin's crew chief, decided to put 4 tires on that car when most everybody else took on 2, and that cost him the race.
Yeah,
it cost him.
When you're the lead guy out there, Kirk, everybody does the opposite of what you do, but he had the first pit position, so everybody else had already kind of committed to what they were doing. So you would have thought somebody would have said, let's go with 2, but I'm not a crew chief and I'm not an owner, so I don't know. But that's the call they went with, and like you said, it ended up.
Got mired back in the pack and was just never able to recover from it.
Yeah.
It's Larson had his 2 tires stop and was already out and gone before Hamlin even hit his pit stall, which is it's the first pit because he sat on the pole. So, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Chris Gale on the radio, 2 tires once they saw Larson come out, because that's the only guy they needed to beat.
Yeah. You didn't have to beat anybody else. He was just finish ahead of him. So,
but with the Penske cars out there, it was going to be hard for him to maneuver back up through there. I knew at the time, Todd, I don't know how you felt about it, but when that 4 tire stop was made on the 11 car, I thought he's done.
That's it.
There's no way he's going to be able to
they kept trying.
It's not like Corey Heim on Friday night in the truck race where Heim had the most dominant truck, even way beyond more dominant than Denny Hamlin's car was. That you can't compare it to that, because the competition level on the Cup side was just going to be a lot stronger for Hamlin to pull off the same kind of move that Corey Heim did on Friday night.
Yeah, the difference between each car was so slim compared to that. So I thought the same thing, Kirk, when he went to 4. That was pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
You hate seeing that, like you said. You even saw William Byron come up and talk to him and tell him, man, in victory or in the press conference, man, sorry.
William Byron apologized to Denny Hamlin.
Told him, I'm sorry about that, man. And
even Kyle Larson at the banquet, who's probably the biggest rival to Denny Hamlin, made a call out. Hey, Denny, I feel for you, man.
Yep. So I mean,
that's tough.
And everybody could, everybody understands that kind of a
which
situation.
Now brings us to the bigger conversation. What's going to happen with the points format moving forward? This is the second year in a row people are not satisfied with what happened.
Yeah, I've been reading some stuff in some chat rooms and what have you, and it seems like it'll be a combination, Kirk, of kind of like the old school format with the points, but with some new things thrown in.
The old chase format.
The old chase format.
Like 10 drivers make the cut and then go fight it out from there.
But there's still going to be some other nuances. Let's just say that to what I've been reading about. It looks like it'll kind of go, and from what I've been reading, some of the sponsors have been asking for. And here's why. What I'm thinking is, Kirk, maybe the sponsors are wanting more TV time with their driver than the top 4. You know what I'm saying? That you have in there. So if you have 10 drivers in this playoff system and still battling it out towards the end, you're still talking about 10 drivers where you have 10 cars showing their logo on the TV, and Macaroni and Cheese gets their logo, and Busch, you know what I'm saying? That could be the only reason.
I think the elimination type format that we've seen where it goes from 16 to 12 to 8 to 4, that's probably done.
Yeah. I think you're going to keep them in.
What's going to happen is they'll have a cutoff at some point. There'll be a combination of what we've had
and
the old traditional 36 race format. I still think there's going to be some kind of a cutoff at some point to tighten things up and then let, 10 or 12 drivers race for it at the end. That's my guess. We don't know what they're going to do, but I think we're pretty sure that NASCAR is going to make a change.
Yeah, no, that's...
Because they have already indicated that. The State of the Sport address that Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps had last weekend, when you had Steve O'Donnell out there pretty much defending what they're doing before they even do it. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
we just don't know when they're going to make the announcement or what the new format's going to be, but it's going to be a format. Now, I'll tell you why there is going to be a change. The ratings would bear this out. NASCAR has lost ratings this year over last year.
Yep, and that's not good, Kirk.
I mean, so if your ratings are falling off, they're going to make changes. And here's the bottom line, Todd. Before they even came to the chase format in 2004, before that it was the long time, old style Bob Latford point system. The grandstands were full more than they are today.
Yeah. But then you also had the drivers that you knew, the Dale Seniors, the Jeff Gordons, the Wallaces, the Jarretts, Gordons, Earnhardts, both of them. There were some big names, Kirk, in that thing.
Those guys were bigger than the sport. They
Absolutely.
transcended the sport. What driver today in NASCAR transcends the sport?
Well, Kyle Larson would be your only guy that, if you had to push somebody, that would be the only person that you could, really foresee. If it was me, and I was running NASCAR, I would be pushing a major advertising. I'd put so much money in advertising. They need to be in the towns with the cars. They could have shell cars coming to these tracks before, because Kirk, in the old days, auto parts stores, grocery stores, everybody had a car in the parking lot. You can come up and take a picture of. The driver doesn't even have to be there, but the car's there, an old hauler's there.
Well, you don't have the sponsors today like you had years ago that put the amount of money into the primary sponsorships of these teams as you once did. And they marketed the sport for NASCAR. The sponsors did. You'd go in a grocery store and see cardboard cutouts of drivers
in the aisles
everywhere. You don't see that anymore. No. And you don't see Sports Center, ESPN, other news venues talking about NASCAR anymore. You don't see that like you once did.
Well, football's a huge giant in a room, and it's just gotten so much bigger with the gambling and on your phone and stuff. It's become.
You can gamble on racing too.
Yeah, I get it, but what I'm saying is that football is just such a huge entity, during the same time, and when your footprint goes up exactly in the same, And here's the other thing: when football's really kicking off, Kirk, and getting good, NASCAR's kind of already been going for quite a while, right? And so you're going to get some burnout on guys that aren't full, that are just wanting to watch something on the weekend, something competitive, something to watch. And man, once football kicks off, Kirk, you see the ratings, they just drop, man. And it isn't just NASCAR. Hockey and basketball are both saying the same thing. Their ratings are a little lower than what they anticipated, and it's because I just think it's a football, and not just football. Everybody's got a phone in their hand, Kirk. There's a lot of people that are not watching TV and streaming things. They're just zipping around on their phones and doing whatever it is. So there's a lot of competition for these people's eyes, out there. That's my opinion on that.
Well, I think a lot of what you say is true, and the NFL has had a major impact. But I think the season's too long. I think, even your diehard race fans are getting kind of burned out.
Absolutely. Well, we do. We had 2 or 3 weeks, Kirk, we forgot to make the picks. And it's because it's just been going on for so long. We had 1 week where we missed the picks completely. The next week we got them. We tried to make up, and then we had another time. So I get it, Kirk. This thing started in February, and it just rolled out. And I agree that give me the banquet early, and let's get this thing over with.
The biggest challenge NASCAR has had, and this is quite a number of years now, is the drivers are not as well known as we saw 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And we touched on a couple of reasons for that. the marketing aspect of it. NASCAR has not marketed the sport. They used to allow the sponsors to market. Back in the old days of Winston, the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, they marketed the sport.
Absolutely.
And you just don't have that kind of sponsorship now tied into NASCAR to help make these drivers more household names. If you lined up all of the top 10 in NASCAR out on the street, and ask the average person to recognize and pick out which driver is which, I think you'd be shocked. A lot of people couldn't do it.
You'd be very shocked. You're right. And my thought is with Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, you've got the Elliots and the Blaneys. These guys, you need to market those 4, 5, 6 guys really hard. They've got family background in a lot of their names, the Blaneys and the Elliots.
Well, all of them have got great stories to tell, but we don't know much about William Byron.
No. And so my thought is you need to do a TV show like F1 did. And
I think they tried to do that, didn't they?
But it was on such a niche thing. It needs to be on Netflix or it needs to be on...
They tried to do exactly what F1 did.
Yeah, I just don't think it was...
And it was late. They got it on the air way after the end of the season, and a lot of people just weren't interested in it.
Yeah, I would push for some type of marketing campaign just to really try to push these drivers because we know, Kirk, we know these guys down with Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson alone, those two guys down there, we talked to them at the Chili Bowl all the time when we were down there, and those guys are very interesting guys. It isn't that they may look cardboard but they have a lot to talk about. And if I was somebody, I would be putting them on. And
the media is not spending a lot of time talking about the drivers. Are talking about all the other stuff that goes on.
Absolutely.
The format, the lawsuits, all the other ancillary things, and don't spend as much time talking about the drivers and talking about some of the great stories. Now, the Denny Hamlin story was a great story, and that's what brought a lot of people on board. And I think it changed a lot of opinions about Denny Hamlin, too, when he talked about his dad on his deathbed. He might not be here to see us try to win another. I think a lot of people were pulling for Denny Hamlin.
Absolutely.
At that time, and it was a great story.
Human interest story that goes along with it.
It didn't play out.
Well, the Olympics do that all the time, Kirk, because you don't know these people. These people are new almost every 4 years, 8 years, and so they try to do those background stories on all the the athletes
That's important to have, because before you watch the Olympics, you know nothing about any of the athletes.
You may know one person going in there, but you don't know nothing about any. And so they're painting a picture, and that would be something I think they should try to do on the.
They need to do more of that
on the broadcast.
The network coverage is
absolutely.
And I've had some issues with the way some of this is covered. I felt that the Amazon Prime did the best of any of them, but it's an online service. A lot of people don't get that, but I thought they did the best job of covering the Cup Series.
And the local...
For 5 weeks.
The local channel, what is it, WB, or what is the channel that covered the
CW Network.
CW Network did a
great job of covering the Xfinity Series, and the ratings proved that out.
They did.
Can you believe that some of the ratings for some of the Xfinity Series races were bigger than the Cup Series?
Absolutely. And here's my thought, Kirk. You can't really change your product too much. Racing is racing what it is, but you could change your broadcast of what you're feeding to the audience to grow a bigger audience, on TV, that type of thing. We've talked about it for years, Kirk. They built Kansas Speedway during the heyday. It's tough to fill 80,000 people out there. You could cut that thing down a little bit, and it would look full every year.
People's habits have changed.
They have. The Chiefs have.
The way they consume everything nowadays. The days of drawing 100,000+ people at the racetrack.
Yeah. Now, some places still get big numbers.
Talladega still draws big, and of course the Daytona 500 is going to sell out. There's some races that draw big, but people's habits change as people have gotten older. The younger audience are not gravitated to sports in general, and even racing in general, like they once had. So there's a lot of factors involved, but I think the biggest challenge is promoting these drivers and get them to where they're better known to people, because a lot of them are great personalities people just don't know about.
Absolutely.
We got a great show for you. Coming up is David Gravel, who has just clinched his second straight World of Outlaws title, and he won last night on night 2 of the World Finals at Charlotte. We spoke with David earlier this week. We'll play that interview coming up. And Hank Davis, this is the second time we've had Hank on the show for a couple of months, but he had a big night last Saturday night at Texarkana, Arkansas. He won $20,000 in winning the Short Track Nationals, which is the first Short Track Nationals that's been held in 3 years because of weather, and I-30 Speedway is no longer around, so they had to move it to a different racetrack. So we'll hear from Hank Davis coming up in a little bit, and we got a lot of other things we're going to talk about. We're happy that you're along, and we're brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Power Eye Midwest Lightning Sprints. Coming up next, David Gravel, the newly crowned, now two-time World of Outlaw champion, when we come back next year on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Track Talk. Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications.
4.5 minutes, gentlemen, 4.5.
10-4.
Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
From the Earth Dispensaries are dialing up the deals from Friday, November 7th to Sunday, November 9th. Take 15% off all Good Day Farm and Codes products. And your favorite picks at a price that hits just right. And it gets even better. All illicit edibles are buy one, get one 50% off. That's gummies, caramels, power cords, and more. Stop by your local From the Earth Dispensary or shop anytime at FTEMO.com. That's FTEMO.com. Stock up, save big, and snack smart.
All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Fall is officially here. You know what that means. Chilly nights, cozy sweaters, and the perfect time for a hot tub. Right now, Pro-Built Pool and Patio is heating things up, literally. Purchase any hot tub and you'll get a free premium grill. Choose between the amazing Ledge Green Mountain Pellet Grill or the powerful Rogue XT 525 Napoleon Grill. This offer is too hot to pass up. Stop dreaming and start soaking and grilling. Visit Pro-Built Pool and Patio today at 4708 Northwest Gateway Avenue in Riverside. Pro-Built Pool and Patio.
BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM. Make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and up only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gaming Commission. Register for a Missouri online sports wagering account starting 11/17. BetMGM's issuance of a welcome offer is conditional on full licensure.
Thanksgiving is coming quick. Pretty soon the sound of football and family will take over your house, and everyone is going to be ready to eat. If you need to call a timeout on spending all day in the kitchen, let Joe's Kansas City Barbecue lend a hand. Reserve a whole smoked turkey by calling any one of their 3 KC locations in Mission, Leawood, or Olathe. Joe's also has smoked turkey breast, ham, and of course, brisket and burnt ends by the pound. Be the MVP of Thanksgiving with Joe's KC Barbecue.
There's a full slate of NFL action coming your way this Sunday, and Sports Radio 810 WHB has you covered. First up at 9 a.m., it's the Falcons and Colts live from Berlin. Then at noon, Drake May and the Patriots take on Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. At 3, it's an NFC West showdown when the Rams meet the 49ers. And at 7:20, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. It's all Sunday on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back to Track Talk. I'm Kirk Elliott. Scott Traylor not with us this morning, but he'll be with us for Monday's Mostly Motorsports show that we do, a podcast on Monday, and we always have great guests lined up for that. And this previous Mostly Motorsports show, we had David Gravel on. He is now the newly crowned 2025 World of Outlaws champion, his second straight championship. After winning last night, he clinched the title on Thursday night, and he lost to the high limit champion, Rico Abreu, in the Thursday night feature. But last night, turnabout is fair play. Gravel passed Rico with about 2 laps to go and won last night's feature event. So who's going to win the hat trick tonight? I don't know. Probably be another driver slip in tonight to win the big money. But David Gravel has that World of Outlaws championship in hand right now. And earlier this week, we talked with David Gravel. Here's part 1 of that conversation. Even though you've got a 138-point lead, any nervousness about what's going to happen this weekend to wrap things up?
No, it's been a great season, and we're very confident at Charlotte and just eager to get racing again. We haven't raced in 2 weeks, so it's going to be, I think well over 14 days since the last time we've been in the race car. So, it's just a good feeling to know you're going to Charlotte, that the season's coming to an end, and you hopefully end off in a high note and, get to enjoy some off time.
Going over the course of the season, you've posted 17 overall wins, 16 points wins, and 68 starts right now. If you look at the top 10 finishes, only about 4 times you not finished in the top 10 this year. That's incredible consistency throughout the year. Just kind of talk about what goes into making everything work and be so reliable throughout the course of the season. You guys have mastered that right now.
Yeah, it takes everything. It takes luck. It takes skill. It takes your team being prepared. It takes not having part failures. And, sadly, if we finished every race like we should have, it could have been a perfect score. But when you race so much, stuff does happen in racing. And we had 2 part failures with engines that, were nothing of the crew chief or the engine builder's fault. And, we had a flat tire out in California. So it's a bummer that happened, but it just shows you how fast our team was. And anytime we were on the racetrack, we were in the mix.
So you look at the Charlotte dirt track. The track is really come around over the last couple of years. It's been a real challenge out there for a number of years at the World Finals. It seemed like last year was the best track conditions they've had for the World Finals. What are your thoughts about the track at Charlotte?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to handle with so many race cars, and they raced there this past weekend, and the track looked really, really rough. So I'm not sure what they have going on there, but I know they tested the week before, and the track looked good and smooth. So hopefully they get it all dialed in for us coming Wednesday. And it's a tough task. The place is always kind of dusty, but they usually get us a wide, racy surface, and, that's all you could ask for. So the weather doesn't look too hot, which is probably favorable for them, and I don't think there's much rain in the forecast at all. So hopefully we have a nice week of racing and get to duke it out.
Now, it's a little bit different the way the format works. Wednesday you go in and you qualify for both Thursday and Friday. What's the mindset going into the first day just to get yourself a good qualifying effort for the rest of the week, huh?
Yeah, it's a unique way they do the week. Just, again, trying to play checkers or chess here with all the classes and all the race cars. But, typically, the first session, hopefully if your car is good, then you're probably going to have a good car for the second set. And, you don't get the hot lap for the Thursday night program. So you hot lap, qualify for Wednesday, and then you qualify for Thursday a little bit later in the night. So very unique how they do it, and hopefully we just continue what we're doing and could qualify near the front.
Hey, this is Scott Traylor. Talk about the motor failures a little bit.
Yeah, some crazy things happened to us this year at Lincoln. Last month, the clamp that holds the base of the magneto on the engine, the mag that holds the timing of the engine and gives the spark to the spark plug wires that feed the spark plugs. The clamp broke, and when that happened, the mag turned and the motor became out of time and severely advanced the timing. And the motor started running bad, and then it started running really hot, and then something failed with the engine. So that was a bummer. And then we had a broken crankshaft in Wisconsin, I believe in May. The manufacturer has had some issues with some, I believe, heat treat issues, and we had a crankshaft fail.
So you're able to diagnose both of those problems that you're pretty confident that not repeat. Is that like a fluke thing that happened on both those occasions?
Yeah, the mag clamp, I've never seen that happen before, and we'll be changing those more often than not. And then, the crankshaft, it's happened to some people throughout the last couple years. And, some engines get raced more than others, and some, maybe have only raced a motor 20 times in the last 4 years, you know what I mean? So it could be older or newer crank, and depending on the batch and all those things.
A pretty eventful crown jewel races this year at both Eldora and Knoxville this year. Just going back to Eldora, first of all, that was a pretty crazy weekend. Glad everybody seems to be recovering after that wild weekend out there. You got DQ'd in that high-limit race for having the wing too far forward. Just how did that affect the rest of your weekend at Eldora Speedway?
Yeah, definitely started out good, running second that night, setting us up to start in the front for a 100,000 win race, and got DQ'd for the wing. I guess it was 3/8 of an inch too far forward, and that set us up to have to run the B main the next night. And I was in the last transfer spot in the B main, blew a tire on the last lap going into turn one, drove it straight in the wall, and junked the race car and had to send the engine back. So that was a huge bummer, and, lost a lot of money in those 2 nights. And then the following night we had a good run, I believe a podium run. And then, the Kings Royal, we qualified well, didn't make it through the heat, but got locked in on time and started in the back. I think started 19th or 20th, and ran in the top 5 in the I think we ran 5th in the feature. So eventful week, obviously not ideal, but it's part of it, and we'll just keep chugging along.
Talk about Knoxville.
Yeah, it's that you had an unfortunate crash, shall we say, on qualifying night, but you came back and finished third.
Yeah, it was another tough week for us, and had to battle hard, dig deep, had to run the hard knocks on Friday, and won the hard knocks on Friday, and that put us starting I believe 19th in the A main, and we were running 17th with like 20 laps in the books, and really got truck in there the last couple laps of the first half. And I think we got to 13th or 14th, passed a bunch of guys there at the end, and then got going on the second half, and was able to get up to the top 5, and had a late race caution, was able to get to third in the last couple laps. So had a lot of speed there, had a lot to show, show that we had a shot to win that race. Just, that heat race on a prelim night definitely stung.
That is David Gravel, World of Outlaws champion. Stay tuned. We'll have part 2 exclusively on RacinBoys.com, our Facebook and YouTube pages, because he talks about his rivalry with Kyle Larson. He's got Kyle Larson fans booing the heck out of him now. So we'll talk about that and more with David Gravel coming up in hour 2. Pretty interesting night last night, Todd. Donnie Schatz finished third last night. And, of course, you know, he's trying to fill out the season. He got fired from Tony Stewart after the Nationals this year, and it's been a struggle for Donnie. He was first in the Todd Quiring second car. You know, Todd Quiring's the owner of David Gravel's ride. So they fielded a second car for Donnie, but he crashed it and destroyed the car. So Donnie had to figure out some other things to do. Stepped in another ride for a while, and here to end the season, he's driving for Jason Sides. But last night, Donnie finishes third in the A main. And they asked Donnie, does this feel like a win? And Donnie said, no. A win's, you know, he's won enough races. He's a 10-time World of Outlaw champion. He says, no, unless I win, it doesn't feel like a win. Absolutely. But it's better than what we've done. So it was good to see Donnie run third last night. Yeah. Also, the pretty good late model action last night. Thursday night, Hudson O'Neal stole the win from Brandon Shepard coming off the final corner. And Hudson O'Neal's driving the number 6 car. Yeah. Not his normal ride with SSI Motorsports. So he was in a different ride. It's a Longhorn car. He drives a Longhorn for his, Todd and Vicki Burns. But this was quite a move he made on Brandon Shepard coming off the fourth turn to win Thursday night. Then last night, Jonathan Davenport just dominated the whole race, led wire to wire. There's like 70 late models in attendance at Charlotte this weekend. And they got big block modifieds down there, too. Alex Payne won last night's big block modified feature after Matt Shepard won Thursday night. And Matt Williamson clinches the Super Dark Car Series Modified Championship last night. So they got modifieds, they got late models, they got sprint cars, and the most cool part of the whole evening last night is when they lined up all of the divisions out on the racetrack in 4 abreast and did the 4 abreast with all 3 of the classes. That's pretty cool. Circulating the racetrack. That's a pretty cool thing. And, you know, it's not as easy to orchestrate that thing as you think. Because they had the sprint cars out on the track rotating around for 4 or 5 laps before they were able to get everybody else lined up.
Because you got to push those bad boys off.
Yeah.
So.
And so, but that's one of the cool features of this event is they have that 4-wide salute with all 3 of those divisions, and a pretty good crowd down there at Charlotte. When we come back, we're going to talk with Hank Davis. He is the $20,000 winner of the Short Track Nationals last week. He's racing this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track, where the POWRi 410 Outlaw sprint cars are wrapping up their season. Last night, Aaron Reitzel wins. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But when we come back, we'll hear from Hank Davis, the Short Track Nationals champion, here on Track Talk.
Track Talk. Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial
3 minutes, 30 seconds, gentlemen. 3 minutes.
10-4.
Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Holy cow, you've done it again.
We've done it again, Toby. We won the President's Award again this year. This is the 22nd time we've been awarded this awesome honor from Ford Motor Company.
But what is the President's Award?
The President's Award is the top award Ford Motor Company gives its dealers for excellence in customer satisfaction in both sales and service and their sales penetration numbers. So we are super honored to have received this award for the 22nd time.
It covers the whole works at Lewisburg Ford.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the awesome people we have working at Lewisburg Ford and helping our customers, and it really shows with this award because it's only a few dealers that get it, and we've done it 22 times.
I guarantee you this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck in the Midwest.
Absolutely. You couple that President's Award lineage with our no-hassle Toby Tobin pricing, it does not get any better than that.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
Hey, it's Lebo here for FanDuel. December 1st is fast approaching, fellow Missourians. That's right. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, finally goes live in Missouri on December 1st. And on that day, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app and see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. All of your favorite teams, your favorite sports, money line spread, player props, live betting right from your seats at Arrowhead. It's going to be great. Remember, Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets with their first $5 bet starting December 1st. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri right now. Get the app downloaded and be ready to go on December 1st.
Must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Don't settle for running at half speed. At CBD American Shaman, we have a passion for helping you feel your absolute best every single day. Our friendly wellness consultants are ready to educate you on the products that can support your mind, body, and spirit. You will feel welcome at any of our Kansas City and Midwest locations. Life is too short to wait for wellness. Take the first step today. Find the CBD American Shaman location nearest to you at CBDAmericanShaman.com. CBD American Shaman. Life is better with the feather.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
Welcome back. Track Talk brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Hank Davis was on cloud 9 last weekend after sweeping the Short Track Nationals, winning both Friday and Saturday night and pocketing $20,000. But then last night, not so good. He didn't make the A main down at Fort Worth. Had some problems in the B main. Didn't get transferred out of the heat. Had some problems in the B main. Didn't make the A. So things can change in a hurry. But he's still celebrating that big money win. And we talked with Hank Davis earlier this week on Mostly Motorsports. Here's a little bit of that conversation. $20,000 richer after winning the whole weekend. Swept the weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Hank, congratulations. How you feeling here? This is a big monster win for you.
Yeah, no, it feels really good. Most people always say it makes wash day pretty easy. So, yeah, it's making today a pretty simple day. It's
a traditional win, too. I can't think there's a bigger win that Billy Bielhauer's had than this one. What do you have to say to you when it was over?
He really didn't have much to say. I didn't have much of a voice, so he didn't really talk much.
When you were able to maneuver the outside of this racetrack better than anybody, there were several other drivers that had trouble keeping their cars off the wall. You did not. How were you able to rip the lip and still keep it out of the wall?
Yeah, I don't really know if there's anything special. We just had a really good race car, and that's really about all it was. You just kind of had to commit to it and have a good race car, and that's what we did.
Just kind of talk about leading into this race. I'm sure you weren't sure just who would all show up at this event. Did you have a pretty good idea who you were going to be able to run against over the weekend? Kind of talk about that. Nobody really knew what the competition was going to be, did they?
Yeah, no, I mean, we didn't really know. We knew kind of early before it canceled that first one or whatever that we knew kind of who was coming, and then obviously some guys backed out, and then we obviously knew that like the 2C guys would be there, and quite a few, I mean, really good race cars. So no, I mean, I knew we had a shot to probably run in the top 5, but I didn't know that we would be quite as good as we were all weekend. But I'm just proud of these guys, and we're going to Texas this weekend and then try to get 2 more.
The track conditions. What did you think going in, and how did it turn out based on what you had planned on? Obviously, you were able to get around there better than anybody else on both nights. Just kind of talk about what kind of a track you first expected before you showed up.
Yeah, I didn't quite expect that, but after the first night, I definitely wanted a replay of the first night, and that's pretty much what we got. So it was like a perfect weekend, and a pretty good weekend to cap the year off.
We'll talk about all those yellow flags. I mean, this is a 41-lap race, 41 laps to kind of make a tribute to Jason Johnson, a former winner of the Short Track Nationals. 41 laps, but there was a ton of yellow flags. How difficult was that to maneuver through all that?
Yeah, well, I think for me personally, with the way the track was, I knew it was just really going to be hard to, someone would have to have gotten a pretty perfect restart, I think, to get slid across me and be able to complete it. So I knew as long as I just would get it, that one restart, I smashed the berm, and I knew not to do that one again, because I knew if I just got at least a straight good restart, I would probably be okay into turn 1, and if I messed up, then obviously they'd probably have a shot to get me into 3. But the track kind of played into the favor of just if you just hit your line, it seemed like you would be okay.
How much experience had you had at this racetrack in the past?
I ran last year when I ran Wayne's car. When I ran the 2C, I ran there for the ASCS Speed Week race, but that was the extent of my time there.
Is that wall new? I don't remember having a wall around that track.
Yeah, no, it's new this year. It wasn't even there last year when I was there. But no, I think that's probably honestly made the racing better. I don't know any of the years before or nothing. I just know last year, and from last year to this year, the racing's 10 times better.
What kind of an impact did that have, having that wall out there? As far as you said it made it better, just what impact did it really have?
I think it's just something that the racetrack can get to. 1 and 2 had the wall, so the racetrack could get up to the wall, and you have to lean up against it. And now I think in 3 and 4 with it having a wall, I think there's just a way that you can build something against the wall. Prior, it seemed like it was a little bit flatter and didn't have a wall, so I tried it when I was there and it never worked. It just seemed like you could never get the top to quite work. But now that there's something that you can kind of lean against or run up against some banking, it definitely helps.
You mentioned Wayne Johnson. He was there. The 2C car was there with Cole Macedo. Cole got up into the fence. You think he might have been your biggest challenger in that race? What were you thinking there when he hit the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I could see the board. And then on that one car, I don't know, I think it was Cody Gardner, when he got into the fence. Obviously, I knew he'd been second. So, and then he pulled next to me or whatever, and so I obviously knew he was there. And like I say, the track I think it kind of conduced. Just if you could hit your line, then it was going to be hard for someone to really do anything. And so, like I say, I just focused on making sure I hit turn 1 after the restarts, and then just get my momentum going, and then however it played out, how it played out.
Do you think Landon Crawley had something for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think, and obviously I talked to him after. He was kind of taking the safer route of if I just can run 41 laps and not crash him, maybe I can win. And that was probably the smarter route. I just I didn't really have the brains to do that, so I just went and put it on the fence, and then it worked out. But yeah, no, I mean, he ran second, so he obviously had the speed to be there. So gets a couple breaks and maybe he wins the race.
That's Hank Davis winning after winning the short track nationals. We had him on Monday's show, and Hank hopes he has a better night tonight than he had last night at Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. Hank qualified 24th. He had some, he didn't get transferred out of the heat race, and then had some problems in the B main, didn't make the A. But last weekend, that can allow you to celebrate maybe a little bit longer than any race that came up after that. But we'll hear more from Hank Davis coming up in the second hour. Just talking more about last night. Todd, I went to bed before they had the A main last night. It was running late because they had so many cars. They had like 65 A mods, 52 late models, and 38 sprint cars last night, 45 sprint cars last night.
That'll make a long
Something
night.
Like that. So they were late into the evening getting that program over. I got up this morning, watched the highlights of it, and saw that Aaron Reitzel had really sped away with no challengers whatsoever. He set quick time, finished second in his heat, led every lap after starting on the pole of the A. Austin McCarl, it looked like maybe he might have a shot once he got into second place. He started fourth, but he just was nowhere close to Aaron Reitzel to get any kind of a challenge on him. Ayrton Geniton, who has pretty much already locked up the POWRi 410 championship, finished third. Roger Crockett, Brennan Crouch rounding out the top five. So we'll see him go at it tonight on Start to Finish TV down at Fort Worth. That and the World Finals. That's about it tonight on the racing card.
Not much left in the old season.
One thing I've learned about the World Finals, you better tune in early.
Yes, sir.
Or you might miss all of the show because they started racing like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When I tuned in last night about 6 o'clock, they were already through the heat races. And I'd forgotten that they started early. I saw all three of the features last night.
When you got that many cars, you got to get it on.
Todd, we received some sad news this morning. Mike Kempton has passed away. He is a Hall of Famer. He was inducted into the Carb Hall of Fame 2 years ago, 2023. And he was a fixture around Kansas City racing as long as I can remember. And matter of fact, over 60 years he was involved in racing. He played the role of a lot of areas in racing, from owner, crew chief, mechanic, car builder, engine builder, fabricator, and after that he was an official. So he did everything, and you'd see him out at the racetrack, and he was always one of these guys you could hold court with, and he had a lot of opinions on everything. He even had some experience around NASCAR.
Yeah, so I saw
he was
that.
like a crew chief of the Daytona 500 one year.
How cool is that?
And he worked with some legendary drivers like Terry Bivens and Joe Wallace and Joe Ruttman, Troy Backlund, Andy Claiborne. A lot of different drivers around the Kansas City area. Will for sure miss Mike Kempton, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his family at this
Too
same
bad to
time.
hear. Sad to hear that.
So anyway, we are going to have another hour coming up exclusively on Racing Boys. We'll be talking about a lot of different things. So stay tuned for that. We're missing Scott here this morning, but he'll be with us on Mostly Motorsports coming up on Monday. We got a couple of guests we're trying to line up Jacob Denny, who won the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series Championship earlier this week at Millbridge. He is the champion, and he won the feature on Tuesday night. So we're going to try to line him up for Monday's show. And who else? I guess we'll see what happens tonight.
See what happens tonight. Might have a different winner and be able to get them on.
I'm going to try to reach out to Cade Dillard, who swept last night's late model and modified features at Texas Motor Speedway dirt track.
That's pretty cool.
So he dominated in both of those divisions last night, so we'll try to reach out to him as well. I've been trying to get Cade on since he won the King of America down at Lucas Oil Speedway earlier this year. So I talked with Cade here about a month ago. He said he'd come on. So I don't know yet who we're going to get on, but those are the two guys I'm going to try to reach out to. But tune in on Monday to find out.
I was jetting around. You texted me the other night. Our own Frank Bowl here on our own radio channel here in town on WHB. He did an interview with Johnny Dare. I
saw that.
And my brother texted me, and
that was good.
And my brother said, "Hey, did you see that interview?" And I said, "You're the second person today to ask me if I had seen that interview." And I seen a clip from it. They posted on social media, but Frank did a great job.
Johnny Dare was a great friend of racing. He still is. Johnny's still around, by the way. But, I thought it was pretty appropriate that they made him the Grand Marshal.
Yeah,
Johnny
cool
Dare
and
friends, Grand Marshal out at the Cup race at Kansas Speedway.
He promoted
Thought that was cool.
Yeah, he took care of that track unlike any other media member in Kansas City. You know, he went above and beyond with everything that he did.
Well, it was appropriate because he raised a lot of money. And the one thing we remember that he was the backer of Don Post.
Yep.
You know, that Alzheimer's patient to get the Betty France Humanitarian Award.
Sir.
That 1 year.
Yep. You know, 1 year Johnny Dare broke the March of Dimes record for the bike ride. Had the most money ever raised for the March of Dimes in a single day bike ride. And
Yeah, he's done a lot for charity.
So, yeah.
And he was the biggest backer of KCIR.
Absolutely.
When they tried to close it down.
I asked him if he was going to field a car, and he said, "Nah, I don't even have the kind of money it takes to run those kind of cars anymore." He said, maybe if somebody bought one for me, he'd run it. But, yeah, Frank did a great job. Like you said, you listen. Frank's still on the radio in the afternoons every once in a while, comes on and sets in and does a little bit of stuff. So it was really good to hear Frank.
I talked to you yesterday about watching that podcast online the other night with Frank Bowl and Johnny Dare, and I said, you got to watch this.
Yeah, my brother texted me the very next morning, too, Kirk. That was funny, and I was like, that's so it's getting some good traction if you and my brother both found it floating around out there. So, yeah, that's good stuff, like you said. Long-time fixture, you know. Johnny's been around Kansas City for 30 years. The Racing Boys have been around for over 25 years here in this community, you know. So we've you know, when I talk to Johnny out there, he says, you know, Racing Boys are a fixture out here and always have been ever since he's ever been out here. He said, you guys have always been out here. So like you said, I always enjoy going out to Kansas Speedway and taking care of business out there. And it's been a pleasure working with those guys. Those guys have been awesome. Nothing but professionals to deal with every year.
Hey, a couple of other notes. Corey Day is going to be full-time in the Xfinity. They're going to call it the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series next year. It's no longer the Xfinity Series. And so it's been since 2006. Hendrick Motorsports has fielded a full-time O'Reilly Auto Parts Series ride. But Corey Day is going to go full-time on the O'Reilly Auto Parts Auto Series.
How you think he's going to do, Kirk?
I think he'll do pretty well. Rick Hendrick commented about Corey Day and his talent. And when you hear Rick Hendrick talk about somebody's talent,
yes, sir,
I would take it to the bank because you remember Rick Hendrick's the one that saw Jeff Gordon.
Yeah,
I got to have that guy.
Yep, he kind of knows what he's talking about.
But he talked about Corey Day, and we've known this. I mean,
we
we've
knew
seen him out there on the dirt tracks. He said he is special talent, and we expect big things in the future from Corey Day.
Well,
that's what Rick Hendrick said.
He had a good year this year, and so hopefully.
Well, he's for somebody that hasn't, a year ago, he was just getting started on pavement.
Yeah,
it was before September of last year. He never raced on pavement at all.
Yeah.
I think Kansas Speedway was one of the first few.
That's what I was getting ready
tracks
to say.
Remember, he raced that weekend on the ARCA and the Truck Series.
That's right.
And he'd hardly ever raced on pavement, but he's had a full year now, and they feel so much about him now. They're going to let him run full time in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series next year. So congratulations for Corey Day. We're not going to see him as much in a sprint car next year, but he was in a sprint car last night at Charlotte.
Yeah,
driving Jason Meyer's car.
So the season is over, so everybody's out doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
Whatever races
Ty
left.
Gibbs was in a sprint car last night.
How about
see that?
I did not see that. How about that? That's pretty.
We'll probably see him back at the Chili Bowl.
Oh,
too,
I'm sure you will.
And we'll see Corey Day back at the Chili Bowl as well.
Only one we probably won't see down there is Rico. He's going to be in in Australia, from what we hear. New Zealand, Australia. He has some things to make up from last year when he missed a little bit of time.
He got hurt.
He got hurt last year.
Australia had to come home early, so we're not going to see Rico. But Rico did show up at the Driller a couple of weeks ago to take a couple of pictures.
I saw that on social media.
I had to come meet my old friend, the Driller. As he said, it was 10 years ago, won the Chili Bowl. So I thought that was pretty cool. Rico did that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. Stay tuned. Hour 2 exclusively on RacinBoys.com. Coming up next, College Game Day. Thanks to Jay Powers back at Sports Radio 810. Todd Surprise, great job as always. For my partner, Scott Traylor, I'm Kirk Elliott. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next Saturday for another edition of Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Early fall is the best time of year to seed your lawn. So start your fall lawn renovation today. It's as simple as mowing the lawn, spreading grass seed, covering the bare spots, feeding.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Here at Specialty Sportswear in-house, we do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other add specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
From the circle track to the drag strip to off-road racing, Rod End Supply has been keeping their customers at the front of the field since 1989. Whether you need rod ends, tubular rods, or specialty products, Bob Douglas and his Rod End Supply staff are always ready to help you with your needs. You can visit them on the web at rodendsupply.com or call them at 800-284-2902. That's 800-284-2902. Rod End Supply, keeping you at the front of the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sabres 33 RLP. Let's go take a tour. Coming into this animal, we're going to take a trip back here to the feature of this trailer, the deck. Check it out. It's awesome. It's 4 by 10 feet. You can dance on this thing. Boom! Check it out. It's pretty nice. And then coming to the back of this thing, you got a 75-inch TV. It's huge. 60-inch fireplace. It's nice and big, keep you warm. Then you got an ottoman that converts into a table, if you will. Maybe some TV trays. Then this hide-a-bed that I'm pointing at, it comes out and folds into like a king-size bed with storage in the corner for all your linens. Great little addition to the trailer. Your dinette, of course. Then you're gonna come around to the kitchen with the tic-toc sink. It's got the spritzer and the waterfall and all that stuff. Residential style refrigerator. It's got the microwave and the oven that's residential as well. Big old pantry over here with motion detected lights, coffee bar, and then coming up to the bedroom, you'll have the bathroom first, nice and spacious with a seat in it for them ladies. And then we got the king size bedroom with washer dryer hookup. I'm telling you, this is a home run for a couples coach. Come and see me. Kyle Walker.
When Steve died, the outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
So we have a lot of folks come in interested in traveling for work. This is going to be a great option. Your Coachman Northern Spirit 2565 front kitchen. You have a nice wraparound full front kitchen here. Huge windows up top. Big 12-volt refrigerator. Lots of windows on the sides here. Great natural light coming in. You have your big TV over here on the swing arm bracket so you can kind of see it from any point in the room. Also have your bar stools here. Sit and eat your breakfast. In the bedroom, you're going to have a king-size bed in the slide-out. Lots of storage underneath that. Washer, dryer, hookup. Tons of storage with the drawers. Then you got your full bath across the back. When it comes down to a camper that you can get for 6,500 pounds and be under 30 feet long, this is an absolute home run.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hey everybody, this is Larry the Cable Guide. You are listening to RacingBoys.com, and if you're not, I swear to you, get in your truck or do something, but get the hell out of this country, because you don't belong in it if you don't listen to these fellas.
It's time for America's most unique motorsports show, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Appreciate you being with us. We're hour 2 here exclusively on RacingBoys.com. Our Facebook page, YouTube channels, all going this morning. I'm Kirk Elliott. Scott not with us this morning, but he'll be joining us Monday for Mostly Motorsports. And we hope he's doing well. He just a little bit, I think he tried to watch that Texas race last night, Todd, and it was a little bit too late.
When I came in, the computer,
I think that's what happened.
One of the computers was still on.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what it ended up happening was
he was able to stay up and watch the Texas race. I was not, so that's why I'm here and he's not.
It'd have been something if it had just been Todd in here running the show this morning.
I think they planned too much for one track.
Yeah. Well, we know that
they had 65 modifieds, 52 late models, and I think close to 40 sprint cars last night.
Well, we know that.
That's a lot.
When you're on that Saturday morning at the Tulsa shootout, when they start running that thing
well, they needed to have the same time period as the World Finals last night. Start in the late afternoon so you can get over in a decent hour. They had 3 classes too.
Yeah.
But they started earlier in the day at Charlotte, which they probably should have done at Texas last night.
Well, It was a late night for anybody who decided to watch that checker flag fall, Kirk, because
I couldn't do it.
Well, I came in
I
this
was wiped
morning and
out.
I saw the headlines when I got in, and
Somebody had to be here this morning, right?
well, I come rolling in and I heard Scott's alarm going off, and I thought, well, he'll be getting up anytime soon.
But it kept going off.
And it kept going off, and that's when Kirk called and said, "Hey, Scott called and said he was up late watching that race." So I figured for sure that Kirk would probably stayed up and watched it no matter what. But it was even too late.
I tried
for Kirk
I
Elliott.
couldn't do it. Had to get up at 5 o'clock, update the website and all of that. But I watched the highlight package. We found that. We didn't see the overall
the race.
We didn't see the archive on Start to Finish TV this morning.
But they had their Facebook.
They didn't have it up there yet. I guess it was too late for them.
Even too late for them. They had to get to bed.
But we saw the highlight package on their Facebook page.
They probably said, just throw it on the Facebook page and we'll worry about it tomorrow.
That's all we have to go by.
That's
is
what we
the
had.
Facebook page.
Well, like you said, it was a late night, and it's going to be another day. One more good racing day today, Kirk.
Great night for Aaron Reitzel.
Yep.
As he dominated the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track last night. That's like a home game for him. He's from Clute, Texas.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't know that's I'd never known what that town. I've never heard of that.
I'm not sure where exactly that's
I'd never heard of
located.
that town until I'd heard of his name back in the day. So yeah, he had a pretty big win there in Texas at the Dillard Doubles.
Cade Dillard doubles up both the late models and modifieds.
That's good stuff,
last
man.
night. He started on the pole of both those races. That helps when you start on the pole.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna. If you don't finish good and you start on the pole, something went bad, right?
Right.
So,
but they had a ton of race cars down there last night.
That's what I heard. That's what you were saying when we got in this morning.
They had 65 modifieds, A-mods.
It's a bunch of A-mods.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of sheet metal, as Scotty Cook would say, right? That's a lot of sheet metal.
So Cade Dillard wins both those races. They're going to do it again tonight down at Texas Motor Speedway dirt track.
Got a race where it's warm.
Since I don't have to get up early tomorrow morning, I may end up watching the whole thing. And, the timing worked out good because the World Finals is over before they even got through with the heat races at Fort Worth last night.
You can just flip right on over. So
yeah.
What about your college? You got football today, Kirk?
My team plays at 2:30 this afternoon at TCU, which is at Fort Worth.
Out Fort Worth. So you might, Kirk.
I probably should have went down there. I could have gone to the football game and then go to the races at night. That's what I should have done.
You got time. Hop on that plane. I had my sister-in-law and brother-in-law had a concert to go to. They had.
I don't think with the government shutdown. I doubt if I'd get out of town.
So my sister and brother-in-law had last-minute tickets to go see a concert in Denver, and they were going to go. I can't remember who the concert was. It's a big name act, not just a. And so they had their tickets and everything. Their flight got canceled over and over and over again. So what'd they do? They just hopped in a rental car and
drove.
Off
Did they make it in time?
They made it. So like you said, fingers crossed that they get back because they're calling. I don't know if you've seen where's that in Iowa? Is it Sioux Falls, Iowa? Snow, Kirk, up there.
Oh my God.
They've got snow right now.
And we just have summer here about 3 weeks ago.
That's what we had some record highs not too long ago.
People were wearing shorts about 3 weeks ago.
And so some pretty good snow in Iowa, and Nebraska has already posted some stuff on their Facebook page being ready. We're here in Kansas City. We're going to have some flurries flying around Sunday, but nothing can accumulate, they said. So fingers crossed on that.
The Chiefs are off this week.
It's a bye week. So I fertilized my yard, Kirk, yesterday.
You got all your yard work done before winter comes.
I got my yard work. Hopefully it rained. It's sprinkling outside right now. I went out between hours, just a tiny bit of sprinkling. If we could get a little rain, Kirk, that would save me from having to water in that fertilizer, and that would save me about 2 hours worth of work today. And I could take a nap and be able to stay up late tonight.
There you go.
That's what my plan is. But I have my kid in town. My son's in town for the week, so I haven't seen him. He stayed out of town last weekend. So I'm sure Mom's got something for us cooked up to do today. And But yeah, it's a little chillier out there, Kirk, than what it was even 2 weeks ago out here. So I'm glad the season has wrapped up here locally.
You know what I find myself doing? I normally wake up about 6 o'clock in the morning, but I find myself waking up at 5 in the morning.
Well, that
because
day
after the clock change.
After the clock change, it'll take you a while to get used to that. And then, well, I guarantee you Sunday morning and Monday morning, we're in for awakening on waking up early. And we're looking at the lows in the, cold, Kirk.
20s?
20s. Not windshield, actual temperature.
That's cold.
That's cold, but it's November. What do you expect? We've got Thanksgiving right around the corner.
You know what I'm
Kirk.
thinking about? I was thinking, did we get our RV winterized? You got me thinking now, Todd.
Yep. Well, I think you'll be all right. It won't be the sustained cold this Sunday, Monday won't be long, down below. So you'll probably be all right for one night or 2 nights. But you're right. You better get on the horn and get out there to Liberty RV and get that thing winterized. I know my neighbor did his yet the other day. I saw him out there doing something, and then they were pressure washing something. So I think he was getting his RV winterized as well. So yeah, I believe it's getting close, Kirk. We may. It's
Can
not.
you believe it's like what, 3 weeks to Thanksgiving?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. We're almost at Thanksgiving, guys.
Crazy.
And it's that time of year. We, like I was telling Jay Powers on the producer over there at 810, not much to talk about once Thanksgiving rolls around, right?
Well, now this weekend we got the World Finals. We got the season finale for the POWRi 410 sprint cars. But next weekend we've got the season finale for the ASCS 360 cars.
The
Fuzzies Fall Fling at Creek County is next weekend.
Yeah, Kirk,
we
Scott's
got
going
the
down
season finale for the NHRA at Pomona next weekend. So there's still some racing going on. And the midgets are going to be kicking off here in the next week or so. Got Turkey Night Grand Prix coming up over Thanksgiving weekend. So the dirt car Gateway Nationals in the Dome in St. Louis, the Snowball Derby, so it never ends.
No,
There's
never ends. We have like 1 week where things are just kind of quiet, and then that's it. And then it picks right back up again. So I'm like you, Kirk. I'm ready for a little break. I'm not as wore out as like we used to be back when we were, because right now we'd be gearing up for
our busiest time of the year. We'd be gearing up for the Chili Bowl.
We were younger.
When we did the production of the Chili Bowl. That's when things really got busy.
Yeah, the shootout and the Chili Bowl. People just don't really understand what it goes into. And my hat's off to anybody who is in that business or does that kind of work. It's not
easy. Racing will be doing it again.
It's not easy doing that. So those are long, hard days, man. I just know come Saturday evening, Kirk, after that shootout night, that's one of the most tired, Then
you got the big event right after that, the Chili Bowl.
You go home and take a 4-day rest and come back, and we'll be down there at the Chili Bowl this year and passing out some T-shirts and watching.
Christopher Bell outran Kyle Larson at the Tulsa shootout last year.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they both going to be running the shootout this year?
I don't know about Larson, but Bell said he's not running the shootout. He's running the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. He didn't have the. Well, I don't know if we'll be down there for the shootout. I'm not going for the shootout, but might be down there for
we'll be hanging around
for the Chili
most
Bowl.
Of it.
Yep.
So, anyway, part 2, David Gravel. We heard from him in the first hour, and we got more from the now 2-time World of Outlaw champion. And, a lot of people have been booing David Gravel out there. I think they're mostly Kyle Larson fans, but we touched on that a little bit. Let's hear part 2 from David Gravel from earlier this week on Mostly Motorsports. You're getting a little bit of reaction from the crowd. Are those all Kyle Larson fans that are booing you at some of these places?
Yeah, you mess with the most popular driver in the country, and you're going to get a lot of boos, a lot of haters. But it's part of the sport. It's fun. Kyle Larson is a friend, but sometimes you get unhappy with friends on the racetrack. But that's just the nature of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, he does bring a lot of attention to sprint car racing. I guess that's a good thing. when he does race. You got to admit that the attention that he does bring to the sport is all positive, right?
Yeah, for sure. He does a lot for sprint car racing.
Talk about your crew, Cody Jacobs. You get a lot of consistency now with your crew guys on the number 2 big game car. Just talk about those guys a little bit.
Yeah, Cody and me have been together since 2021, and been building this up and working together, and really got a good package night in, night out. And Zach Patterson's been with us since 2022. And then we have Pete Stevens, my car chief. He jumped on board full-time this year for our first year with the team, but he's kind of been a satellite guy for us where he'll go to all the big events and come help out and hang out. So he was already kind of gelling with all our guys. And, I think all 3 guys are on board for next year. So, looking forward to that.
Is the plan just to stick with World of Outlaws now? I know there's been a lot of talk about people jumping back and forth. What's your guys' vision for the future?
Our deals aren't 100% concrete right now, but I don't see why we wouldn't race the World of Outlaws next year. And, Todd has a big alliance with Dirt Vision with his racetracks and his events. And, I'm trying to go up the ladder on that all-times wins list and, maybe become a 3, 4, 5-time, World of Outlaws champion one day.
How do you see where sprint car racing is now in the bigger picture? There's been a lot of things that have changed, but the popularity of the sport, as far as the entertainment value, the streaming services, Dirt Vision, of course, Flow covering the High Limit series, have seen their growth in their viewership. Just how do you see where the sport is headed right now with everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very volatile in my, opinion. A lot of eyes on us, a lot of big prize money to get nowadays. 2 big series that are being successful, a lot of streaming stuff, and just the whole world of the streaming is changing. You look at it with the NFL and, all these other apps and streaming services, and yeah, it's just it's an odd time right now, and it's good to be a sprint car driver right now. But I'll be very curious to see, what the future looks like in 5 years, because I think then it'll look a lot different in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think it's going to look like? Do you have any idea of what to expect?
Yeah, I don't know. Sadly, the streaming has hurt attendance at racetracks, so I think that business model is going to change, and it's just going to be interesting to see how it turns out if there's a merger or somebody buys one series or the other. If they both succeed, that's the all unknowns right now. So we'll be very, very curious to see how it turns out.
Then they got these franchise systems. I guess none of us really know how that's going to work out in the long term, what High Limit is doing over there. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, again, if one day they buy World of Outlaws or something, how does that work for the World of Outlaw guys and how that merges together? But for the team owners, the franchise thing is very good. It's very lucrative for the guys that earn those charters. So that, the top 5 through 10 guys are going to actually get a lot more money than they have ever gotten before, no matter what series you race in. So I'm very curious to see how it turns out, and I'm very curious to see what World Racing Group does to try to stay on top.
Yeah, how do you see the facilities across the country right now? You race at a lot of different racetracks. Where are the facilities right now in terms of where big-time sprint car racing goes to nowadays?
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Some places are great, some places are not. I feel like we do a pretty good job. WRG like to go to pretty good racetracks. There might be a couple in there that aren't the nicest, but there's a lot of premier facilities out there. But with the split, you can't go to all of them. So High Limit gets to go to some great tracks that we can't go to, and vice versa. So we got to do the best with what we got, and it'll be interesting to see what the schedule looks like for next year for both series, and if we start sharing tracks or we get to go to the track that High Limit gets to go to, or vice versa. It's going to be interesting to see.
What about Lakeside Speedway? What's your thoughts on that track?
Well, I don't know. It's a big track, always had a good crowd, but I heard the last time they just went there, the crowd wasn't that great. I don't know what changed, but, that was a track that people loved, and that was always SLS promoted on the World of Outlaws side, and I know had good crowds in the first couple high-limit races were very good as well. So, great track, just one of the worst tracks ever to try to leave after the races.
Yeah, you got that right. That's our local racetrack. What are your thoughts about some of the other tracks that we haven't been to for a couple of years? I always kind of liked US 36 Raceway in Osborne. I know the Outlaws went there a couple of times. Would you like to see you go back to that racetrack, for instance?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back there. I don't know how Lake Ozark's doing, but I didn't mind Lake Ozark Speedway. That place was fun when the track was right. But, I don't know. There's so many out there, and it's hard to remember them all. But, man, I miss Lernerville Speedway, and I miss Port Royal Speedway, and would love to have a crack at Lucas Oil and, places like that. But for tracks that we just haven't been to, it's hard to say. My brain's not that big to remember them all.
Yeah, you go to so many tracks, it is hard to remember them.
Todd's really good at putting up your merchandise page. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, yep. ShopDGR.com, and we have a pretty good online store, and we try to have a good social media presence on all platforms. So we try to stay very active and engaging, and stay tuned for some cool merch drops here this week, probably Wednesday.
Good. So fans that are attending the World Finals this weekend, we'll see a lot of that, huh?
Yep. Yes, sir.
David, thanks a lot for taking time to be with us. Safe travels, and good luck this weekend. I'm going to prematurely say congratulations on another championship. I know you probably don't like to celebrate before it actually happens, but congratulations on all your success.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, and we'll talk to you soon.
There he is, David Gravel. Another championship for the World of Outlaws. And I guess when you only finish outside the top 10 like 4 times all year, it's going to be hard to beat you.
Kind of hard not to win.
They did have trouble. I don't care how good you are. There are some points of the year you're going to have a problem.
When a long season like that, you're bound to come up when you're going
to flip a car. You're not going to be able to get back in. He had an engine problem not so many weeks ago that he wasn't able to get back into it. It did not finish, but it was like Brad Sweet before him. If you had a did not finish, it was like once or twice, and it was breaking news when that happened.
And like you said, anybody behind you is going to have a hard time catching you if you're not having any issues, So
this all goes back to point systems and what championships are all about. And I think where a lot of people, the TV executives that came up with this point system that they're using today in NASCAR and soon to trash, I think what they forget is it's not like other sports. Racing is different. It's more than just about the driver. When you go out and win a championship, it's more than just the driver. It's about the reliability of the equipment. And what a lot of people had a problem with, and I'm one of them, is that when you come down to a winner-take-all, one-race playoff, a flat tire, anything can put you out and just ruin everything that you've accomplished the whole year.
You could have a jack go bad on you on the last pit stop, and that's it.
This is not like Game 7 of the World Series where the players make something happen.
Absolutely.
They don't have equipment that they're dealing with, and that's the big difference. Game 7 of the World Series was great.
Yep. I mean, I guess you could have a catcher could have their catcher mitt could fail and the ball could be a pass ball. That's an equipment failure. If you have or the first baseman ball breaks the web on his glove.
But the chances of that happening
that's what I'm saying.
Are pretty slim.
Yeah, but with racing,
mechanical failure is part of the sport.
Well, every night somebody on the track has an issue. somebody from 1 to 30 out of these cars, somebody on that track didn't have something go right on their car that night, and that happens every night, everywhere. So,
but if they'd had a winner-take-all playoff in the World of Outlaws this year,
oh man,
and it was down to say David Gravel and Carson Macedo and Buddy Kofoid and somebody else, David Gravel. If this was the same type of scenario that we saw at Phoenix, David Gravel go out there, have a flat tire.
Yep, and somebody else wins it.
And he can lose the championship after he dominated the whole season. That's not right.
No, I get it, and I understood, when you didn't like the way it switched before, and I get it, and let's just hope they come up with something entertaining enough to keep your eyes glued. What I wanted to do was have a regular season champion and then crown that person as they're the regular season champion. We do that, but make it more of a big deal, because they always say, oh yeah, and the regular season champion was, well, no, I think that should be a way bigger deal.
But if they go back to a more traditional type system, that won't be necessary.
Won't even be talked about.
Yeah, so I don't know what NASCAR is going to come up with, but I think this experiment of playoffs and winner take all, and it didn't bring in the numbers.
No.
That's the bottom line, Todd. It didn't bring in the numbers to justify keeping it going.
Yep.
And that's really what it's all about. When you got NBC out there saying, okay, you can do whatever you want now.
Yeah,
that's after the ratings had tanked this year.
I agree.
And there could be a lot of reasons why that happened, but I think we now know that the point system wasn't the end-all, be-all that they were hoping it was.
If it was me, nothing against any of the announcers or anything, but I would do a clean slate of how everything was done. Let's come up with a brand new way of presenting this product.
I think so. Well, Fox needs to revisit everything that they're doing. But I have a little bit of an issue with the announcers on NBC now. Now, NASCAR is supposed to be an all-American sport. Is having an Australian guy as your lead announcer, does that work? Lee Diffie?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as long as he's insightful enough. And
he's good, but I'm saying his accent, does that fit NASCAR's image?
No, I'm sure it doesn't, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't deter anything. What I hate more about it is I just don't like the good old shucks and hucks and all the stuff that goes on. There's so much information that can be passed on to us, and they've taken Larry McReynolds, and you don't need him. Get me somebody new.
Clint Boyer?
Those guys, they've been doing it a long time. I get it. Kevin Harvick was a breath of fresh air that kind of came in, and it seemed a little, less.
He seemed kind of bored this last year, didn't he?
I think he was bored because I think he's kind of tired of that as well. He probably thought it was going to be a lot cooler than it was. And then you realize, Kirk, when you get behind the mic and you realize how much pre-production and everything goes into it, it's not quite as fun.
Has Mike Joy passed his prime?
Yeah, and what I would do is, you've got guys like Chris Wilner and, these kind of younger guys that have been around the sport. Get them in there.
Well, they got Parker Kligerman in there. He's kind of young and energetic. And
man, I would take Chris Wilner. He's already in their system. I would take him and pluck him and put him on TV. He's young enough. If you could get him in.
He could do the job. No
He's
question
great.
about it. He's doing a great job for the Motor Racing Network.
He does a great job with him. I worked with him at the Chili Bowl. We interviewed 15, 20 drivers, Kirk, and he's so professional. He's so good. He's able to talk with each driver and have some type of connection with each one of these drivers. I'm just kind of tired of the old.
I'll tell you this: I'd have Dale Jr. as part of my team if I was in charge. He'd be on my broadcast.
Absolutely. And here's another thing, Kirk. I would rotate those drivers out. I would get with Dale Jr. I'd take the 5 or 6 races that Dale Jr. was your Daytona, your Talladega, maybe a Martinsville, a couple of tracks like that you knew the Daytona name. I mean the Earnhardt name. Bring him in. Let him be the one calling, doing the race, the color commentary with some insights and stuff, and then come in the next week. You have Carl Edwards comes in, and he comes in and does these.
I thought Carl did a great
job
on that studio set with Prime.
And that's what I would be working more towards, something like that.
They had he and Corey LaJoy on there, and I
both
thought those two guys did a great job.
And who was the lady that was with? They did
Danielle.
Trotta.
Great
job.
Yeah.
That was a really
She
good.
did a good job.
So that's the direction.
So the prime presentation was the best of all.
And
of
you
the
know why,
NASCAR.
Kirk? Because it's new
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to what Fox and NBC's been doing. They're just going with the old. You could take those the announcers out, Kirk, and throw in your old Michael Waltrip, Darrell Waltrip, and Mike Joy, and throw them in. It'd still be the same production with just different names.
Well, if you look at the CW broadcast, those guys did a great job.
And it was
I mean, they got Adam Alexander as
Yeah.
the lead play-by-play guy. I think he's the best of the lead play-by-play guys.
I would move
right
him.
now.
Yeah, I'd move him into the number one spot and get that. And like you said, I know we're killing it on NASCAR here, guys, but man, I would change what you're presenting to the home viewer, and let that be.
And start talking more about the drivers and their personalities.
You've got to talk about the drivers and people.
Let's get to know the drivers more.
And we'd like to know about the cars and stuff, and not just. I just get tired of the old shucks and hucks stuff, man. I just get tired of that. Hey, and
Well, they're talking about things that really nobody cares about.
and I get it. They got a lot of time to fill. Hire some more people to come in and say, hey, we're going to go to this guy for a minute and let him talk to you about this, and do the play-by-play with you have picture-in-picture. And that's just my thought is there's a lot that can be done.
Racing is the hardest sport to cover. Why? Because the playing field is too big to
huge.
cover with
That's right.
one camera. You cannot cover everything as well as when you're in the grandstands watching it.
When you're listening to it, on the coverage on the audio side is so cool, Kirk, and it's because it's the seamless transition from one guy calling it to another guy calling it to another guy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, and you have a lead guy, but man, they go down to him and they're handing it off to the other guy. Like you and Scott did that one. When you're handing it off to the next guy,
I listened to most of the race last week on the radio, and I get more out of the radio coverage sometimes than I do watching it on
and
video.
So TV needs to take a cue from radio a little bit, and there's some things that you can do.
You know what I think that is? Because when you're driving down the road listening to these races on the radio, you're having a picture
Well, they're painting it for you. Denny Matthews.
But you imagine what you want.
Yeah. Well, it's
more
like
than what they're telling you.
Yeah.
What
When you read a book, Kirk, and they talk about something, you imagine what that color of that car is.
Is that why the book's always better
the
than
book's
the movie?
always better because it's got some of your imagination in it. He may talk about a race car, but he never maybe once mentioned that it was red. But in your mind, that was a red race car, and they may never even mention it. So like you said, your imagination comes in, and I would just like them to paint pictures a little bit more with what you're seeing and doing a little bit more driver information. That would go a long way.
Well, I listened to all this business with Hamlin and Larson go down on the radio driving back from Iowa last weekend.
It's good, wasn't it?
And I got a lot out of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're listening to this. Oh, Denny Hamlin is Steve Post made the greatest call of the whole day.
I'll look back and
when
listen to
he
that.
was on pit road, he says Denny Hamlin is mired back 7th, 8th place.
Yep. When he took the
He
four,
is
that was it.
way behind everybody else now, and I'm thinking to myself, that's it.
Yep. When I saw him standing there on pit road waiting for that, I was like, hey, he's got the insides. And you're right, Kirk. When he called that, that was the call. He knew right then and there that Denny wasn't going to win that race. He knew.
Yeah.
We need to get Postman on maybe.
And then when I went back and watched the video, I saw Hamlin not hit his pit box until after Larson and everybody else had already left their pit box. Yeah. So they knew before Hamlin came into pit what Larson had already done.
Yeah, that was second guessing by them all day. That's all season long. They're going to be thinking about
It's going to take a long time for Hamlin to get over this.
And that whole team. You
wonder how they're going to respond to this in the future.
Well,
if they come up with a different point system,
it
might make it easier.
I was going to say, you
win.
never know. He might have come in there and do it. But I'm with you, Kirk. It's going to be a long off season for the young man, and he'll have a lot to think about this off season.
He's not young anymore, though, is he?
No, he's younger than me, I think.
Can you believe that it was 2005. Denny Hamlin made his first start at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, I was out
We
there.
were there for that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
2005.
Yeah, I wasn't out with you guys yet, was I? I don't think I was with you quite yet, was I?
I don't think so.
I came along, and I've been
We
here.
had just come back. I'll tell you, we had just come back from, both Scott and I went to Richmond to a Cup race. And it was like 2 weeks later that Kansas Speedway happened, and Denny Hamlin made his first ever start
How
with
about that?
FedEx.
Yeah,
as the main
I was
sponsor
in the I was
at
in the
Kansas
I was
Speedway.
in the crowd. I had season tickets back then. I was in the
But we
crowd.
had been to Richmond the time before that at Denny Hamlin's home racetrack, and he was not in the field when we were at Richmond
about
2
that?
weeks before that. So that's how we remember Denny Hamlin's start. It's hard to believe, 20 years. He was good right out of the gate.
Yeah.
He was winning races at Pocono, and now he's got 60 career wins, but he's not got that championship. But, you know, another driver that hasn't won the championships has been out there pretty vocal about the point system, Mark Martin.
Mark Martin, absolutely.
He's out there on Kenny Wallace's
I saw that.
broadcast and so forth, and he never won a Cup championship.
Did you see the final race? They're interviewing everybody after the race is over. Did you see when they were interviewing Jeff Gordon? And they threw it. So they're doing you're in the media center at the Kansas Speedway. So they're throwing it to different drivers.
Right.
And the drivers, the announcer, Jeff Gordon's on the stage, and the reporter says, Kenny Wallace Media, and starts.
I saw that.
And he starts to ask.
I'm from Kenny Wallace Media, and Jeff goes.
And Jeff, he listened to the first part of the question, and then he says, "Wait a minute, Kenny Wallace has his own media company." He goes, "I know he does his TikTok thing, but I thought that was pretty funny." He says, "Wait a minute, Kenny's got his own media company. He's got people working for him."
Kenny Wallace addressed that on one of his.
He did. I
shows.
saw that. So that's pretty good stuff.
So anyway, Mark Martin played a big role in getting this points championship changed. He was on Kenny Wallace's shows earlier this year, and his influence made an impact. I'm pretty certain of that. Well, listen, let's hear more from Hank Davis, who won the Short Track Nationals last week at Texarkana 67 Speedway. Not so good a night last night for Hank. He's hoping for a better night tonight down at Fort Worth, but he's still celebrating that big $20,000 victory. Part 2 of Hank Davis from earlier this week on Mostly Motorsports. 4 wins on the year earlier. Wasn't that long ago. A few weeks back, you won at Callaway Speedway on the POWRi Wing 410 sprint cars, and you also had a win back in June, I think it was. Just what does this do now at the end of the season like this? You're going to Texas Motor Speedway coming up this weekend. How much of a boost does this give you going into next weekend at Texas Motor Speedway?
Yeah, no, it's just a good confidence booster, and even a confidence booster going into like the indoor season and all of that. Just knowing that you can win races, and you can win, you can compete with pretty stellar guys, and so yeah, no, it just gives you a good confidence booster, and obviously $20,000 is pretty nice going into the winter.
Todd's pretty good at putting up your merchandise page. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any merch for the Beaver car here because we just kind of got halfway through the year or whatever. But yeah, no, you can check out all my socials, like Facebook is Hank Davis Racing and all that stuff. And you can check out the website and get some shirts, and we'll get them shipped out to you.
So what's the future? It seems like you and Billy Vielauer is really matched up something pretty special here. Just what's the future like? You guys going to hang together and do this again next year?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I don't know why the plan wouldn't be that, right? But yeah, I don't know what the schedule exactly is, so I can't give you that information. But as soon as we find that out, I'm sure that'll be kind of released or whatever, and we'll get ready for next year. We'll start building on the winter.
I know you're still pretty close to Wayne Johnson. What do you have to say to you after it was over with? You guys talk?
Yeah, no, we definitely did. He, you know how Wayne is. He couldn't just quite give me all the praise or nothing. So no, he he said, he just said good job. Obviously, he didn't want his race car to get beat, but he's had a pretty big hand in, who I am as a wing sprint car driver. So it probably felt a pretty good reward for him too, to see someone that he's kind of helped and teach and stuff like that to have a successful night like that.
So you were on the grounds the whole weekend. It had been 3 years since the Short Track Nationals was last held, and that was at the I-30 Speedway. So what are your thoughts moving forward of the Short Track Nationals and where it might lead now after getting it back up and running here this week? I know the car count probably wasn't as what they hoped for, but what are your thoughts about where this event moves forward at Texarkana?
Yeah, and like I said in my interview, I never got to go to I-30 in a wing car. I ran a midget there, and even like when my dad raced there, I never really got to go. No, I mean, I feel like it's probably as close as you can get to I-30 with the way the track is. And Tim knows exactly, I mean, being from around that area, knows exactly what the place needs and what the race needs to be like it was. And I think people will start kind of realizing, and I'm sure obviously some people are like, oh, it's cold, but back in the day, that was just kind of part of it. It was the Short Track Nationals was just a cold time of the year, and everyone went there and raced, and then they didn't pitch. They just went and raced in the cold, and I feel like it needs to stay then because that's just, to me, kind of part of the Short Track Nationals.
So you're on a list of pretty stellar names now on the Short Track Nationals. Started out Steve Kinser, you got Sammy Swindell, you got a lot of great names on that list now. You're among them. How special is that?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I say, you didn't get to do it at I-30, but I mean, this is as good as you can get. And then, I'm a pretty big history guy, so no, it's a pretty cool thing to just add your name to a list that you really just don't think you probably will ever win a race like that when you're younger. So, I'm just going to cherish it. And my dad, like I said in my interview as well, my dad tried. I mean, he wasn't a hitter or anything like that, but he tried for a long time. And I don't even really know if he made to be truthful with you. But yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to have that and can't take my name off of it now.
$20,000, that's pretty big in your career, isn't it?
Yeah, no, biggest win I've ever had, that's for sure. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the biggest win of your career so far, no doubt, right?
Right.
Is it still bigger than the Chili Bowl prelim?
Do you plan on running the Chili Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I don't plan on missing that race for as long as I can, or as long as anyone will allow me to run their car.
Is the Chili Bowl prelim win that you had here a couple of years ago, is that still bigger than this past weekend, or is this surpassed that now?
I'm going to have to say Chili Bowl still is. It's probably more so because it's 15 minutes, from my house, and I've spent a long time going there, I never thought I would ever win in that building. So, that one probably is going to take the cake for quite a time.
All right, let's talk about this weekend down at Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track. What are your thoughts about this particular racetrack?
I don't mind it. We qualify really good around there and have speed early around there. We struggle a little bit later in the night, but it's a different place and super fast place, but I think it'll be okay, and I think we'll be okay. We got pretty good notes from the last time we were there, so I think we'll be all right.
Well, Hank, we appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the big win. I mean, just not only win Saturday night, but Friday night. Before I let you go, talk about Friday night's win. How different was the track on Friday to Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it was kind of the same. Just 3 and 4 was a little different. I think 3 and 4 was a little bit choppier, or if you will, on Saturday than it was Friday. But we had just a good race car then. I think I thought personally if the two leaders stay in lap traffic and we can get to them, that we have a shot to win the race fair and square on Friday. And it just kind of fell into our hands. And then Saturday, I thought we had a shot to win that race fair and square, and obviously we didn't get to race it out, but the bank's not going to ask how I got the check.
Yeah, you came from 6th on Friday night. How much did you make any changes to the race car from Friday to Saturday?
No, I said it in the interview there too at the races. I just washed my suit. That's all I did.
Right.
We weren't changing it. We weren't changing a thing. We were good when we unloaded, so we weren't gonna shy away from that.
That is Hank Davis, who is coming off the short track nationals victory at Texarkana, Arkansas. I want to talk about that. Bob Baker sent me a note last night, and I did not know this. Brad Doty's been having some health issues. Of course, you remember Brad Doty is one of the great sprint car drivers who was injured in an accident a long time ago and has spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. But Brad Doty is still a great ambassador to sprint car racing. You saw him do color commentary on some of the TV broadcasts over the years. But Brad Doty posted a note on social media the other day. He was trying to keep everybody informed of what he's been going on. But he's been in and out of the hospital in Cleveland and going through some pretty serious health issues right now. And we want to send our prayers out to Brad Doty, who is fighting some pretty tough times right now. So let's all send our prayers to a great guy and a great ambassador to sprint car racing, Brad Doty, this morning. So
yeah, I hate seeing that. That's sad to see that.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, we've got the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum with the sweepstakes going on right now that I want to tell you about. They're going to give away another Corvette next year, right around Nationals time. And it is a beautiful, it's a white with black trim Corvette that they're going to be giving away at the just right after the Nationals next year. This thing features a 670 horsepower flat plane crank 5.5 liter V8 engine. Pretty powerful stuff here. 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, Spider design black forged wheels, Jake C8R graphics package, Arctic white with adrenaline red interior, 14-speaker Bose Performance sound system. This thing has got it all.
14 speakers, Kirk. Where are you going to put 14 speakers in a two-door car?
How do you do that in a Corvette?
I think you got two in
That's
the head.
a lot.
I think you got two in the headrest.
Can you imagine the sound in that thing?
It's got to be loud because that car is loud.
Yeah. Well, you can win this. You can win this car. All you have to go is to go to winacorvette.org to get registered. The sprint car giveaway is ongoing too. Now they're not drawn for the sprint car until December of next year, December 2026. They give away the sprint car every 2 years. They gave one away last year, and they're taking drawings for the one that they're giving away in December 2026.
Good-looking car, man.
And this is a race-ready 410 wing sprint car. And you can win this, too, by going to winasprintcar.com to get registered for that. So the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame Museum is open the year-round, 7 days a week. And if you're looking for Christmas shopping ideas, they got a lot of great items at the gift shop up there. Go to sprintcarstuff.com to check that out, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
They got some cool books up there, Kirk. If you're a bookie, people that like
a lot
to read
of great.
books.
I think they got Dave Argerbright's new book about Steve Kinzer.
Yeah, we were going to try to get Dave on too.
We're going to try to get Dave on the air here in the next couple of weeks talking about his book with Steve Kinzer. So hopefully we can make that happen. Also, if you just tuned in, we mentioned at the end of the last hour the passing of Mike Kempton, who was a fixture in racing in and around Kansas City, and he represented Kansas City pretty well out there. He was involved in a lot of NASCAR stuff, traveled the country. One time he was a crew chief at the Daytona 500. He delved into a lot of different areas of racing. He was a car owner, crew chief, engine builder. He did it all and worked with some legendary drivers, including Terry Bibbins and Super Joe Wallace, and a lot of different drivers. He was inducted into the Carb Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. And, I mean, he worked alongside a lot of great ones in NASCAR. I know he did some things with Richard Childress and Bill Venturini and Richard Petty. I mean, he knew everybody. And you'd see him at the racetrack, and you knew that he had a lot of ideas on just about everything. And he would, you could hold court with Mike Kempton. He could tell you about a lot of different things. He had great experiences. So we wish his family our sympathies today, passing of Mike Kempton.
Absolutely.
True Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir.
We got racing tonight at Charlotte and Fort Worth. These are the two tracks that are part of the Bruton Smith. You know, one's right outside Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the other one's outside Texas Motor Speedway.
Right outside.
That's where the dirt racing is tonight.
We need one right. That's why Scott always said we need a dirt track right outside of Kansas.
No, he wanted a pavement track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott wants another pavement track.
Yeah, there for a while.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Not going to happen. Too much money.
And I don't think a dirt track outside of Kansas Speedway is going to happen either.
Nah, there's too much stuff being built now out there, Kirk. Did you see
there might be a new Chiefs Stadium?
Did you see that? The big rumor this morning. That's what the big rumor is. I-70 and 435. Man, I don't know if we can handle that.
I don't think we know what's going to happen.
I don't think I want to handle that kind of infrastructure in my town. It's already rough enough race weekends. I can't imagine what it'd be like.
Well, we know this. They can't schedule a football game up against the Kansas race.
Yeah, I was going to say, you couldn't do that, could you? That's too big.
They shouldn't do it anyway.
Yeah, I think they should work more hand in hand. You know,
of course, NASCAR comes out with their schedule before the NFL, right?
I don't know. If it was me, I would start working with these other things and try to not go up against head-to matchup games. That's what I would do. I try to. You don't have to beat the big bully up in the room, but you can just go in there and ask to work with him a little bit. I don't know, Kurt.
I don't think we know just where all this is going. The Chiefs and Royals, and
it's crazy around here.
I hope they stay and can't. I know the Chiefs will be around, but you kind of wonder about the Royals.
Yeah, you worry about the Royals with the different owner, you know, and he doesn't have a lot of ties to KC, you know, personally. So I don't know, Kirk. I just feel lucky that we were living in a time where we
saw 2 world championships with the Royals. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, and
I've been here long enough to celebrate 2 world championships with
and
the Royals.
go in the World Series more than 2 times.
And the Chiefs have been to the Super Bowl now, 5 out of the last 6 years or something?
We've got four trophies sitting on our wall. So
that's crazy.
I
don't think they'll be lucky to even make the playoffs this year, won't they?
The
Chiefs,
if they beat Denver twice,
they got to beat Denver, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't all that impressed with the Broncos the other night.
That game was all to say.
They had trouble beating the Raiders.
That was a piss poor game all around, Kirk. That was bad. That was a bad game.
Thursday night? I think?
Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was 7-3 or 10-7.
That was not a good
10
game.
10-7. That was
and the Chiefs throttled the Raiders
and got beat by team. It's the NFL, Kirk, and that's all these matchups are. I tell people all the time, the whole league has been gunning for the Chiefs for 5 years.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised they lost at Buffalo.
No. Well, that's been going on forever. We lose, and then we win.
The Chiefs still almost had a chance to win that game.
And that's how and if you ask anybody in Buffalo, they wasn't breathing easy until
they can beat them in the regular season, but let's see what happens in the playoffs, right?
I'll take the playoff win over the regular season win any day of the week. Any day of the week. Here's what Buffalo's scared. Let me tell you what's really going on right now with Buffalo, Kirk Elliott. Their only claim to fame, Kirk, in the recent years is they went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
But they never won one.
I know, but they can still say they went to 4 straight, right? Their whole goal this year is to keep the Chiefs from going to 4 straight Super Bowls. Because if we go to another one this year, that's 4 straight. And that nullifies what they did because we won some of ours.
Exactly.
So their whole thing is, even though you won, you never went to 4 in a row. So Buffalo's doing everything. That's the whole. Everybody's talking about it up there. Nobody's going to take this 4 in a row away from them. They had Jim Kelly on.
Everybody but those of us here in Kansas City hate the Chiefs now. Right?
Yeah. Well, the whole league thinks that we're paying the referees.
You know what the whole country is saying, Todd? Enough already of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I get it. We lived through the Patriots. We understand.
Yeah.
We were tired of that. If you wasn't a Michael Jordan fan, you were probably sick of the Bulls.
Exactly. We know what that looked like.
And if you were in the 80s, you were probably sick of Joe Montana. I know I was. I didn't like Joe back in the day until he came to our team. So I mean,
it's like in racing, they were sick of Donnie Schatz winning all the nationals every year.
People booed Jeff Gordon.
They didn't like Steve Kinzer, and they
Jeff,
hated Dale Earnhardt.
Jeff Gordon, you don't love him winning all the time.
Yeah, because he won all the time.
Kyle Busch, they booed him.
Jimmy Johnson, we hate Jimmy Johnson because he wins. He's the nicest guy in the world, but we hate him.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's the only guy that I know that I've never seen.
Never met a nicer guy in the world.
That dude, man, we spent a whole afternoon with him at KU one time, and I've never seen somebody
as down to earth and genuine as anybody you'd ever meet.
That dude was. I mean, I hung out with Dale.
Talk about the championships not going to his head.
Yeah,
that's Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, I hung out with Dale Jr. the year when he had a concussion, and he came to Piper, and me and him talked, and I was pleasantly surprised at how down to earth Dale Earnhardt Jr. was. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean,
very down to earth.
The funniest part, Kirk, I'll just mention this before. The funniest part in our conversation, me and him are talking, and he's getting ready to go out and meet the whole school to do a presentation, and he'd agreed to this before his concussion, and so he came in and he brought it, and so he also met with the honor roll students before everybody else, right? All the kids who had won, smarter, the ones who achieved a bunch. And he signed some cards and some thanks for all them, and he'd met all those kids. And then they went to the auditorium. So we had like 20 minutes time, 15 minutes while they were gathering everybody. So, me, Kirk, I'll walk over and talk to anybody. I don't care who they are. And so I just walked over and started talking to him, and there's, you go to my social media page, his handler took pictures of me and Dale just sitting there talking. I've got my arms crossed, and we're just talking, having a conversation. And the conversation, I'll never forget this, Kirk. We're talking. He asked me if I was. He goes, "Was you on that honor?" Because they had a wall with all the honor roll names on it, and he asked me if I was on that honor roll wall when I was here at that school, and I said no. I was in the principal's office wall more than the. And he said, "Well, my dad put me in military school." And what's funny is, Kirk, his dad is.
We know his dad.
His dad is the most popular race car driver there ever was. But it was just funny because he mentioned it like, my dad put me in military school, and I just was. It took me back for a second because we're sitting there talking, and then he asked me what my first car was.
His dad happened to be one of the most recognizable people in the world.
And so I asked him what car did he drive? He had a truck, he said, and I told him I had a 78 Camaro. And he says, "Well, man, that's a race car." And I go, "Well, we used to drag race less than a mile from here every morning." And I said, "We used to drag race 3 wide, 120 miles an hour before school." And he thought that was crazy. And I went home and told my wife, I said, "Dale Earnhardt Jr. told me he thought that was crazy what we were doing." And I said, I'll take that to my grave, Kirk, because, him listening to me talking about racing, and I'm not a race car driver.
That's why he is so popular on the air. He does this Dale Jr. download and all these shows. Why they are so popular is because what you see is what you get.
Absolutely. Him and his wife do a really good job on that podcast. She's on there a lot now. But, Dale Jr., we hung out, and like I said, that was he was down to earth. And same way with Jimmy, like you said, when Jimmy Johnson came out there and he went and visited the ICU center for the kids.
Yep.
And
you and I were both out there.
He was out there, Kirk. And he was only supposed to be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
He stayed longer than anybody else.
He was there all day, and at the end of it, he grabbed all the nurses because they all wanted to have some pictures with him. Well, he's like, "Forget it, and he got them all in there, and they all got a big group photo, and then he took a picture with each one as they walked out of the group. So, Jimmy, like I said, this
was not an obligation to him.
He was not obligated. He already met his obligation.
He was in no hurry to leave.
Yeah. He walked around, Kirk. He was sponsored by Blue Bunny, was one of his sponsors.
Right.
He pushed that Blue Bunny ice cream cart into each one of those rooms. And what you don't understand is each room he had to get undressed and redressed into another outfit because you can't carry the germs from one room into the next room into the next room. So it wasn't just like he was popping in and out of these rooms, guys. He spent a long time, and he told all of the people, his handlers, we're going to be here and we're going to take, this is what we're doing. And my level of, went from here to here with him immediately after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My respect for him was way more than, like I said, I knew nothing about the guy other than the stuff that we know, but I know now he's a really, really good guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you really find out the character of people.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I'll take away from.
Same with your encounter with Dale Jr.
Yeah. No, it was the most down-to-earth conversation, and sometimes they're not like that, Kirk. It's more of kind of what's going on or the weather. You're talking about what, and these guys, man, they were just open up and so yeah, like you said, that's what NASCAR needs to do, is get more of what these guys are about.
The media needs to take a look.
Absolutely.
And really help in that.
You could do some personal packages with a couple of these drivers every week and play a couple of things.
And the networks need to do a better job of profiling the drivers. And where we get to know them better.
And I would also, they did it for a little while there when Clint Boyer, but they need to talk about the drivers that drive dirt tracks and the tracks that they come from too. You know what I mean? Because what that does is, if we got a lot of people that don't watch any NASCAR, but if you knew that Boyer was going to talk about Lakeside Speedway this weekend on the broadcast, or Dale Jr. was going to talk about North Wilkesboro or whatever track it was that that's going to bring more eyes to this thing than their normal, typical NASCAR drivers.
Well, I think and this past week is an example of that. Denny Hamlin talking about his father.
Absolutely.
With his terminal illness. That is a human interest story that captivates people.
And
we're seeing Denny Hamlin in a much different light now.
Very different light. And like you said, same way with Kurt Busch. With that interview before our show on Breaking the Norm, they had Kurt Busch on there, and he's a completely different cat than what I remembered, back when we first encountered him, and couldn't be more gracious. And, he's a good name for the sport. Those guys, the ones that are still around that I would have Kurt Busch in there. I'd have the Dale Juniors in there, and I'm the Carl Edwards. If they're not on the track, Kirk, give them to me in the booth, right?
Yeah.
At least I can see my favorite drivers on the weekends. Here's what happened. Those drivers all made a lot of money. The Tony Stewarts, the Carl Edwards, the Dale Juniors, those guys made a lot of money, and so they didn't have to go into broadcasting. They could if they wanted to, but they didn't have to. Whereas you knew as well as I do, Frank White in the old days, he talked about when he first started, you had to have another job when the season was ending, Kirk. Yeah. It isn't like how it is now. Baseball players aren't, when they retire, Kirk, those guys don't typically get into coaching baseball anymore. You know why? They got so much money. Why would you want to even, the only ones who get into it are the ones who truly love it to the core. And the ones that are, they may love it, but they're not going to put in the day-and-day grind that it takes. And I think that's where we're sitting at. If you had Dale Jr., Carl Edwards, and Tony Stewart on two different platforms calling these races, NBC and Fox at different times, you can't tell me that the viewership's going to be up a little higher?
Well, especially Dale Jr. whenever he's on. I don't know why NBC got rid of him.
I think he got rid of NBC.
You think that's the way it went down?
I think it went down with that Amazon deal. And Dale was part of that. Did you watch it?
The way I understand it, when Dale Jr. was talking about it, he didn't get brought back.
Maybe that was it.
Tried to negotiate another contract, and
nothing happened. Well, I thought it was weird because he did that boxcar derby thing with they broadcast that boxcar derby where they drive through an obstacle course. People build a cardboard cutout car and they race it down this thing, and he was doing the commentary. I loved it. It was hilarious, Kirk. It was just, it was good stuff. I watched it So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Anyway, all these TV networks need to revisit what they're doing and how they present the sport and the storylines they cover, because what they've been doing over the last couple of years, it's not working.
Not working. Well, if they want to give me and Kirk a call, NASCAR has our numbers. They have our credentials. Just give us a call. We'll put in our 2 cents, and all it can be is you can just say no if you don't like our idea. Just tell us.
Well, I feel that Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell, those guys are listening to people now. A lot of these ideas were under Brian France, the
that's true too.
regime, and the TV network executives are now saying, "Okay, we give up. We give up."
I agree. We might be in a new era
because their ratings aren't coming in.
Everything might be starting. This might be the new leaf that they were looking for, and who knows what could happen for 2026. So it should be a good year out there.
All right, we're looking forward to watching the World Finals tonight on Dirt Vision. We'll see if anybody can beat either David Gravel or Rico. Those are the 2 first-night winners. Jonathan Davenport dominated last night in the late models. Hudson O'Neal stole it from Brandon Shepard the night before. And looking forward to it. Fort Worth, Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track. You can watch that on Start to Finish TV. We'll be here on Monday to talk about it on Mostly Motorsports. Todd, great job as always.
Thanks, my man. Appreciate
you being here.
Good luck with your game today.
My partner Scott will be here on Monday as well. For Scott Traylor, I'm Kirk Elliott. We're the Racing Boys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be here next Saturday for another edition of Track Talk.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.